Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the SNHU broadcast today with some League of Legends. I am here with me and me. So looks like we're going to be playing some League of Legends today. There aren't, any other casters for tonight, but it should be a fun game either way, and it looks like we're about to get ready into draft. All right, so I'm really excited to see how SNHU plays this one because I think these last couple games have been absolutely just bangers. Zach being picked out by Vikings, CSU. That's going to be an interesting pick. Zach is really good, and I think he can be flexed multiple roles, if I'm not wrong. I think they can be flexed jungle and also top lane. But it looks like SNHU Blue has some pretty good bans. I'd say that I'm not exactly necessarily sure about CSU's Fiddlesticks ban, but I think other than that, everyone looks to be pretty good. SNHU is going to be running Vi. We saw this last time that they played, and it looked pretty good. They played more of a tank Vi from what I saw. So I think that it should be a decent strategy. Vi is a character that has some very easy execution, along with just the ability to really CC people. They can get through entire teams, and their ult makes them immune to CC, so it is really powerful. And it's Xayah getting picked up. I think for at least preseason until like the whole meta gets shifted around again, I think SNHU is really going to just try to keep picking Vi and keep picking Xayah. I think these characters are very good for their team comp. Xayah has enough peel and has the ability to just stun. She can do a lot inside of the game, so I think that's a very good pick for SNHU Blue. But I'm wondering really what CSU Green picks, because I think that anything can be... Oh, looks like a Mumu's going to be picked up. I wouldn't have necessarily expected that, as a Mumu's more of a flex pick along with Zach. Oh, it looks like it might be a Mumu support into Xayah. I think that should be good for Xayah just because of ult, but I think before that it might be tough for Xayah to really play the game unless they have a good defensive support to back them up. But I think that... might be hard if they pick Rakan, but they could try to pick someone else. Hovering a bunch of champions as they usually do, but not the Teemo this time, Renata. I think that that's probably a good pick. Renata is very much an anti-engaged champion just because of her ult. And it looks like CSU is going to be drafting a dive comp. So I think it's pretty good, but you got to be really careful about Jinx, because if Jinx gets a kill, she can really just kite around your team as much as she needs to. But it looks like we're going to be getting into the second ban phase currently. Looks like Swain was banned. I think that that's pretty good. Swain can be sort of just a very dominant character in the mid lane. His ability to just take damage just over and over and over again is unrivaled because of his ult. The CC ability that he has with his E is also really good as it goes through minion waves, so that's really powerful. So I think that that's definitely a good ban, but I'm a bit worried that Kassadin might be picked up. I'm not exactly sure if they got nerfed, but even if they did, I'm still a bit scared of that. But a Syndra being banned, I think that is definitely good. But I know that Toxic has a lot of mid lane champions, AP, control mages, everything. So I don't really fear for SNHU in this game so far. But I'm wondering what they're going to ban next. I would probably go for really just hard targeting the mid lane, because it looks like jungle's already picked up and top lane's kind of just, whatever you want. But it looks like they're both going to ban out top laners. Shen and Camille. I think that both of those bans are pretty good, considering SNHU has played Camille, and I think they're both of their last games that we saw. So I think that that's definitely a good pick. I'm wondering what they're going to choose and really what their AP carry is going to be, because Toxic plays a lot of AP characters, but with Camille getting banned out, I'm not exactly sure what Chroma has to pull out, but the Jax coming out is actually insanely good. Jax is one of the better characters in the game at the moment, just because of the new item reworks and a lot of the stuff is very heavily centered around bruisers at the moment. So Jax is one of those characters that will do really well, especially into Jinx. So unless they pick up some sort of like hard carry control mage, or just someone that can damage Jax, he's going to be a menace throughout the entire game. Like, picking up an Olaf is definitely good, and it's really hard to defend against. Olaf is one of those characters it's gonna be difficult, but So it seems like it's Zach. So it's a Mumu support, Zach jungle, Olaf top is what I'm guessing. Let's crank. Oh. Ooh. Okay. I don't think that's their actual pick because Renata's picked up. Missed that. But a Victor being picked up, I think is a decent character because you don't really want to over-invest in CC, especially with Olaf being able to go through your entire team, so you want to do a lot of damage. And Victor's definitely the character for late-game scaling. We saw last semester just the amount of damage that they could just tunnel into one target, really just like having some type of bomba or nuke, if you know any League of Legends terms. Yeah, Victor's definitely going to be a scary character going into this, but looks like we are going to be throwing probably to break due to it taking our spectators a little bit longer to get into game. So we'll see you then. Welcome back, everybody, and it looks like we're going to be getting into game right now. So game prediction-wise, I think that it's going to be a bit hard for SNHU to do a lot about the Olaf. I hope I'm wrong, because I don't necessarily want to see a game really be stomped by one character, but Olaf is really hard to deal with his ult. Looks like they might be like death stacking a bot side bush. I saw 4 players go down there. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be trying to invade, it looks like, onto the blue. It looks like Vi is in their red side, though, so that's still good. That's also good information of where they are, but it doesn't look like Suki's going to get caught out right now as the Q. Yeah, the Q just misses. A little bit of wasted mana, but nothing too bad. It looks like SNHU might be trying to steal the blue buff or just be like deep warding with Chroma sort of sitting around there. It looks like Suki is just walking the long way back to lane, not really wanting to risk anything at that buff. And it looks like CSU aren't actually going to try to steal. They are just going to pick up their red, but it looks like if you saw over there in the very corner, Chroma might have put down a ward there. In the game right now, at least what I can expect to happen is SNHU just trying their best to stop Olaf, but it looks like a bush is death stacked here, just with 2 players though. However, Amumu's level 1 is really hard to deal with. Q goes out, but misses too. That's so unfortunate, just going in between both players right there, and it looks like SNHU is going to be able to take a good trade down in bot side. Looks like top lane is going to be interesting to watch, at least early game. Both these characters are very volatile, so it might not be a wet noodle fest. For the first time in League of Legends collegiate history, tanks are being played. Let's go. Oh no, it looks like Chroma might be able to get picked here. But a tower shot coming out onto the top laner for CSU. So yeah, it looks like right now top lane's going to be in a bit of a pickle unless Vi comes up. Vi is on their Krugs right now, so that seems a bit good, but bot lane seems to have the advantage. But a Q coming out from Amumu, and it looks like the Q is going to stop them. Ignite going out. Looks like they're going to keep autoing, but the flash going through to take the Amumu. Looks like they might be able to get a double kill here, but it looks like Suki will just get killed by the Kaelin. So unfortunate, but a 1-for-1 is pretty good. The wave state is a bit lackluster for SNHU, but it's not too bad of a situation, especially with SNHU, I believe, getting first blood. However, the first blood went on Renata. That's very unfortunate. Right now, it looks like Vi is just going to be doing their best to sort of trying to trade off and on, but it looks like Vi doesn't know that Zac is right there, so they are going to be able to escape with a Victor stun coming out, stopping the Zac from queuing again and pulling the Vi back. Looks like CS-wise, Victor's pretty far ahead, along with the top side for CSU as well. So it's going to be a bit unfortunate. Bot lane is not necessarily doing the best, but not too far behind for it to be that big of a deal right now in the game. Looks like Vi is going to be on their blue buff along with Zac. Also on their blue buff, looks like they're going to be split mapping and just going in opposite directions. Looks like Olaf backed, so Chroma is not in a really tough situation when it comes to damage, and it looks like they're trying to freeze the wave up there to try to deny Olaf as much farm as possible. Control ward spotting out Sea Monsters, which isn't necessarily the best, but I thought they were just about to queue Sea Monsters right there and go in, which I wouldn't have thought would have been a good idea, but they were sort of positioning themselves to do that. Good thing they didn't, though. Looks like right now Victor's just going to be having the best lane prio really out of the game right now. However, farm did even up. I'm not sure if Victor backed or something, but it looks like Zac is going to be in the bush. This might be very unfortunate for Chroma, as the Zac might dive directly on top of them. Olaf pushing up the wave, so Chroma might suspect something's about to happen. It looks like Zac is actually backing off as they spent too much time in that area and need to go for some farm for right now as their camps are respawned. Looks like right now the game's going to be a bit slow from what we're seeing. They're just really looking to scale as much as possible to see what team comp wins. But a control ward being in that tri-bush. Oh, the stun coming out. Vi's just going to come over the wall. The flash right through, though. But Amumu is going to be pulled back by Renata Q. Looks like they might be able to pick up a kill here. Vi's getting a bit low, but they are able to kill Amumu without any deaths on the team. Very well picked by SNHU. It's so unfortunate for ZSU as well, because you really want Amumu to try to get that early game pressure, but it looks like Zac is going to be diving on, having to flash, not really having the minions to pull him back as far as they wanted to, but Looks like Hugh will come out and Proma might die. Looks like they're going to back off, though, and maybe try to push the wave, so Proma might just have to recall the best that they can. This is going to be a bit scary, though, but it looks like CMOS will be trading out on Dragon, but it looks like the Zach actually engages up on top side right now. Unsure exactly what's going on up there, but it looks like Olaf executed and Zach died. That was an amazing turn by Proma. That was absolutely insane to be able to do that against both of those champions. But it looks like Toxic is going to have to flash to the Amumu. The stun coming out stopping the Q, though, was very well placed. Looks like right now they're just going to really be trying to farm up. A little bit of early game fighting for right now, but not as much as we've seen in the past games. Looks like really in bot side, they're just going to be waiting for their junglers to come. Really just in the game in general, they're not going to be trying to push for anything too difficult, but Suki is pushed up really far, and Amumu is there and might be able to go for a Q. Renato's in long bush, though, so they will be able to stop that. But it looks like Victor might get dived on by Zach if they're not too careful. Yeah, Zach is coming through, and the stun comes through, stopping, but it looks like they will try to use their ult to try to burst down Orianna, but it doesn't work. Vi coming out, maybe being able to save Toxic just barely. That was very well roamed by CMonsters. Being able to be in the right place at the right time sometimes is what changes the game. As jungler, that's really just your goal. Knowing rotations, knowing who to gank, knowing the overall wave state and macro of the game. CMonsters is only level 4, though, so they don't really have the ult to engage all the way across the lane, and it seems like they don't have, or they do have flash up. Actually, oh, it looks like a trade's coming out bot side. Ignite thrown out, might be able to kill Mumu, but Zach is right there, and it looks like they are going to die, and Renata W actually stops that kill. Renata's just one of those characters. It looks like they are going to be able to pick up Zach as well. That was just very well executed by Pancake Man. Vi is off top side, and looks like Proma's going to be trying to engage on the Olaf, but nothing actually happens because of it. One thing that I was going to say is Renata is a really good anti-engage character because of that W and because of her ult. She is going to be an absolute nightmare to CSU's team except for that Olaf. And really that's who we're going to be looking out for to determine these fights going forward, especially with objectives. Olaf is one of those characters that is just so dominant due to their ult that it's going to be really hard for SNHU to do anything about it. I think Zai is a good pick because of the ult allowing to get away from the Olaf a bit quicker, but it's still going to be scary because they might just be able to run down your Victor, who doesn't necessarily have the best movement in the game, especially now that we're not seeing Toxic run Ghost anymore. Toxic used to run Ghost on Victor, which I think was good, but with Olaf's speed and just the state of the game, it's not necessarily the best thing to do. Proma is in the blue side looking for a couple picks just for vision. Sorry, not for players. CMOS is going to be on Raptors. And it looks like there might be some type of rotation with Pancake Man up to Herald. It looks like SNHU might want to take that as best as they can, really trying to get up as many objectives as possible. SNHU already got the first dragon, which is really good because Cloud Drake on Olaf is such a scary dragon. It lowers ult CD, and that's, you know, the scariest part about Olaf's kit. So SNHU trying to get as many objectives as possible is definitely the thing to do, especially with the gold advantage that they do have, being 3k gold up. This might be a scary situation for Suki because Renata isn't there. So this might be a bit scary, but Vi is just sitting in the bush, maybe looking to drop Herald topside. It might be good to alleviate pressure and get Jax as far ahead as they can. Really just making this Olaf, or putting this Olaf in the worst state possible is the exact thing you want to do in this game currently. If you look at the score right now, it seems like SNHU's bot side is going to be one of the determining factors for them. They have currently 3 kills on Renata. Oh, it looks like they caught out the support. This is very unfortunate for CSU. Yeah, the Aegis coming out is able to burst down that Amumu perfectly. So yeah, this is going to be a difficult situation for CSU being this far down in the game, especially with their boss side not doing good, able to get out that damage, because if Olaf's really the only one running in, you're going to have an issue because everyone will just target Olaf and try to kill him as quickly as possible. CSU, though, isn't doing necessarily the worst job in the world, though. It is unfortunate that Zach did die and haven't really been able to get any successful ganks, but it isn't the worst situation. It's definitely able to come back from this. Amumu is there, though. They might try to stop Vi. Renata ult is coming out, and they will be able to catch Amumu just barely, but the Renata Q missing, and it looks like they are going to be able to stop that engage really well. They were able to actually pick up a plate from that, just going back in time, but it looks like Suki is going to get engaged on. This is a bit of a scary situation, as you do see Zach in the bush. They might be able to come for a cheeky little gank right here. Looks like they're Oriana's TPing mid, and CMOS is trying to pull out the dragon right now. I think this dragon is insanely good for SNHU, as you're going to have the ability to get away from a lot of the CC that CSU has. But it looks like Zach is going to be engaging, and the Mumu ult coming out is just going to be able to burst down Suki. This is so unfortunate. They're going to try to get the kills, but they are able to pick it up with a flash. That was very well played by Suki, being able to get the E onto Jinx. That was so good. You know, trading 1-for-1 there isn't actually the worst situation. I think maybe a shutdown came through. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, that was very well played. And it looks like Vi still has Herald, so they might be able to get back some pressure on the map from that interaction that just happened. Victor's doing a pretty good job at scaling for right now, so it looks like really the only threat for SNHU right now is Oriana and Olaf. Olaf has died once, though, so it will put them a little bit farther behind, but as this game goes on, if one player is going to be able to pick up multiple picks over and over and over again, it's going to be a bit difficult. And that's really what CSU wants to do. They want to really play this pick type of comp in team fights. Being able to get someone in the back line, being able to flank is the exact game plan that they're going to be looking for, especially with the characters like Zach, Olaf, Oriana. Oriana is more of a front-to-back team fighter because of the ult, especially paired with those characters. But I think it's going to be what CSU's goal is to try to get up some picks to try to regain this gold lead. Being 2,000 gold behind, it's going to be hard, but CMOS and Pancake Man are waiting up here, and it looks like they might just try to dive the Olaf. Rift Herald is coming out. Looks like CMOS might just be pressuring right here. It looks like they are going to be going for the dive, and CMOS is able to hit the Q, and it looks like Olaf is just going to be bursted, but the tower shot's coming out onto Pancake Man almost is able to kill him. Very unfortunate. It looks like right now that they're just going to be trying to get as many plates as possible, and Suki's sort of left alone in bot side. This is a bit scary, especially with Zach down there. They might try to go for a dive on themselves, but it looks like Suki's pretty smart and tries to back off of that situation as best as they can. And that top wave and all that XP is just not going. Oh, dodging the Amumu Q was just great right there. Being able to E Amumu ends up dying there. Looks like Zach is going to be taking tower shots, and they end up dying. Suki was able to completely turn that. That was very well played. Being able to dodge the Amumu Q without spending any cooldowns or anything basically won that tower dive for Suki. Without them getting CC'd, Zach just kept going in and kept going in, just kept dying. Being able to have an ADC on your team that is able to lane by themselves, especially versus this amount of pressure, is such a vital asset for SNHU to have right now. Looks like they're going to be going for a dive of themselves, and it looks like Pancake Man's going to just tank the tower shots there, and Suki isn't even afraid to go for that. It looks like the support is down, does Q onto Suki, but I don't think anything's going to happen here. Suki actually is really low health from what you just see. Looks like Amumu is actually going to be able to burst them completely down, so picking up a kill there. But it on Amumu isn't necessarily the worst thing. Picking up a double kill, though, getting 600 gold from that, probably more with Suki dying, is insanely good. Problem is that that's on Amumu, and right now, looks like SNHU is trading topside. Even though that happened, it's going to be unfortunate. Oh, the Oriana ult coming out, and the Amumu stun is going to be traded onto Toxic. Looks like they aren't going to be able to kill Olaf just barely with a fail flash over the wall. That is so unfortunate for SNHU not being able to pick that up. But as I mentioned before, CSU is really trying to get these picks. They are trying to do the best that they can to get back in this game, and it looks like they're going to be doing that extremely well. Bringing back the gold lead just a hair, but picking it up on characters that might not necessarily need that gold lead is the unfortunate part. Amumu is very good, but the damage output he has isn't necessarily the best because he's a support. You really want those kills to be on Jinx, but nothing really you can do about it. So picking up the gold is still good, but it's just unfortunate that it wasn't on anyone else. And right now, it just looks like They're going to be trying to scale up as much as possible, but I didn't even see the Zac over the wall. That's how far he can jump. Looks like Suki is going to be in a bit of a tough situation as their flash is down, but looks like Pancake Man is going to be there to maybe support the best that they can. And they are going to be able to kill the Zac just barely, but the Q coming out, that was very scary. Oh, they are going to be able to get a double rune. C-Monsters is just going to be able to go in there. Jinx does die. That was insanely well done by SNHU. Vi coming there just in time. Suki having the ability to kite out that Zac was vital for that fight. Right now, it looks like everything's just sort of going to be stabilizing. There aren't really any objectives up except for Dragon, but I don't know if CSU is in the ability to take that. They might just decide to farm for right now. Dragon's going to be up, and it's going to be a bit scary because you've seen how much Suki can just do by themselves, being able to take on 3 people at the same time, and then you have all of the rest of SNHU to back them up. It is going to be such a scary situation. And Proma, both the top laners have TP, so it's going to be probably maybe a 5v5 coming out. They do have vision right now. Looks like C-Monsters is charging up a Q. They do actually back off of that as Zac would just jump on them after that Amumu Q, and that would be disastrous. Suki's trying to push in the mid wave, which is really good. You want mid-prow as much as possible, try to not take anything. But it looks like they are just going to be able to ult on top of their mid laner. Very well played. Vi's abilities to just get across the lane that fast are so powerful. Vi has a very simple kit, but they are an extremely good character to pick up. And right now, you see Suki just having a shutdown both from farm and all of these kills. It looks like C-Monsters might be doing the Dragon alone, though. This might be a bit of a scary situation if the team doesn't rotate. It looks like the team... Victor is still in the bush, and Renata is coming down. Zac might be able to go over the wall here and maybe try to look for a steal. It would be very unfortunate if that were to happen, but Zac doesn't really have the vision right now. Now he does with that ward just being right there. TP coming out. It looks like Olaf is going to be coming down, and the Jinx ult is going to come. Looks like Zac is able to steal out that objective, but they might be able to turn this. C-Monsters is really low. Victor ult coming out, really forcing them to back off, and didn't look like they wanted to fight anymore. They just wanted to get up that objective and run. And it looks like Suki and Proma, both, Proma being an ADC player from last time, good that they're pairing up. But yeah, they're just going to be bursting down that top lane right now. It looks like TP is going to come out, but the tower isn't going to be safe, and that objective bounty is going to come out for CSU. But SNHU is making that gold lead go a little bit further in their direction. It's going to be on CSU to try to get some sort of good fight or good pick to be able to get an objective and push their power as much as they can, as they need to get these objective bounties to get back in the game. Baron is up. Or, well, second Rift Herald, sorry, is up. And Baron's going to be up pretty soon. And it looks like they are just going to be able to just go directly into CSU's blue side without any hassle at all. Suki is there. The Q barely doesn't hit, but the ult comes out. Zac might be able to get out of this, but Zac is super low. If they try to go for a dive, they might be able to get it, but they actually aren't able to do that. They think it's probably best to back off at the moment. But being able to get this vision control is so vital for SNHU to be able to take this Rift Herald. They might not be able to burst it. No, they're able to burst it down fast enough, definitely, especially with C-Monsters and Pancake Man right there. Looks like CSU is just going to be trying to get in their own jungle as best as they can. Jinx ult coming up almost stole that. That was almost well-timed. That was very scary for SNHU, as it could have stolen a vital objective away. It seems like right now things are just going to be stabilizing as Suki has rotated into the mid lane. This is usually a thing that you see in most higher level league games, is you see the bot lane really rotating, and then the mid laners rotate down to bot lane to sort of just trade objectives, allowing for the AD carry to be as safe as possible in the shortest lane. Mid lane is the shortest, so it's just really the best idea for them to be as safe as possible. But Suki might be able to get bursted on by their bot lane as a Mumu Q does come out, but Renata is there for the anti-engage Q coming out, but Zach is right there, and the Amumu wall might be able to turn this. Xayah being able to flash. Oh, and the Renata W being able to put them back alive, but it looks like CMOS is going to be able to come in with an ult and clean up everyone else. That was so unfortunate for CSU. The flash there from Suki was absolutely fantastic. We've seen them do this multiple times. And Xayah paired with the Renata seems like an absolute filthy combo. The ability for them to burst down CSU's team is unrivaled. It looks like they're just going to be going for Baron. Zach is up, though, but a lot of the vital members of CSU, Orianna and Jinx, are going to be down, so they are just going to be able to take this without contest. Looks like SNHU is just going to keep snowballing and keep snowballing there. They're just in such a good situation right now. It's going to be so difficult. CSU's game plan is to really just try to shut down as many people as they can and just try to get any of these picks, but it looks like they're just going to be trying to go in for the fight. Knowing that Baron is low, this might be a smite opportunity, but they stopped hitting it. Looks like Toxic is going to be bursted upon, but Suki is actually right there to back them up. Toxic is getting burst down by the Olaf. I'm not sure who picked up Baron just yet. Looks like SNHU was able to pick it up and burst everyone down inside of the pit. Vi coming out, using the ult, just getting all the way across the jungle. Nothing actually came from that as the team wasn't able to follow up right there. They went in, but they were just too fast for everyone else. Right now, it looks like SNHU might just have the ability to win this game. Yeah, they have Herald as well. With Baron buff, I think this might be it for CSU. They might be able to hold just barely if they get all of their players up to take a good fight, but it's going to be so scary. They don't necessarily have the perfect wave, and it looks like they are just going to let the Herald die, most likely. It might get one more crash, but that's about it. Right now, it looks like Toxic is just sort of coming back to base, and all of SNHU is really just preparing for this dragon coming up. It looks like SNHU is going to have the, first come vision advantage, but Toxic's in a difficult situation, throwing out an E to just try to zone, but really it's only Toxic on the Drake right now. It's going to be hard for SNHU to really do anything because Zach can just come over the wall. You do have Suki pushing in the mid lane though, which is very good, and this looks like it's going to be one of the first full 5v5 team fights of the set. SNHU is in Dragon Pit. There is a control ward in the back of that bush, but it seems dangerous to really push for that. Looks like they're just going to be hovering, playing footsies right now. No one's really sure who's going to go in, and they're just trying to wait as best as they can. Looks like Oracle Lens will be coming through to spot that, and looks like they just do decide to burst down Drake. Looks like CSU is going to try to just go for like maybe an Amumu alt steal of some kind, but it looks like SNHU is doing so much damage to it. Zayah's just able to pick it up with the E, but the Renata alt coming out just means Zach is completely dead, and it looks like the bot lane is actually going to get saved with the Orianna ult coming out from CSU. Very well placed Orianna ult, but SNHU having this dragon is just so scary. Having all of the Drakes are so good for SNHU's team right now. It's just going to be a slow burn and a slow bleed unless CSU is able to pull out a miracle. It looks like they won't be able to burst down this tower, but Chroma might try to go for a tower dive here. They're in a bit of a sticky situation. New wave came in with Baron buff. They have the ability to completely burst down this tower. They might try to go for another inhibitor, try to keep mounting that pressure over and over and over again. When you have two inhibitors down, it is so hard to be able to make any play around the map, but Suki might be able to get bursted here. Jinx ult coming out, but just barely surviving. That's so unfortunate. They might be able to pick up red buff here to heal some amount. This is a bit scary for SNHU. They do manage to get out, though. I thought Zach was going to do something a bit funny and try to jump onto Suki, but it looks like that wasn't really going to happen there. Looks like it's going to be a tough situation right now as SNHU's Baron's gone, but even still, CSU doesn't really have the ability to do anything. CSU is in a very tight situation where the only player doing a bit good on their team is the bot side, and maybe Olaf. Olaf does have two pickaxes, so that is a lot of damage being able to come through. the problem is just being able to get those flanks seems really difficult as they're peeling really well for Suki. It looks like CSU might have to try to start engaging on the Victor to be able to try to get some amount of play, as Suki is just so elusive, especially with that Renata W, being able to flash and just pull the E to burst down someone and get themselves back alive to output more and more damage. Honestly, I'd say this combo might be better than Rakan Zaya. It seems with Suki's ability to play this, oh, they are just going to be able to stun out the support and just get a pick. This is going to be terrifying for CSU as they don't have full 5 members on their team. There are no objectives up, but SNHU might just try to push in waves over and over and over again and get these outer turrets. It's just mounting pressure. It's just a slow bleed over and over and over again. CSU is just going to have to be praying that something happens or someone is out of position from SNHU's team. Right now in the game, it's looking like they're going to pick up the tower, and it looks like CSU's bot lane is going to rotate along with their jungle, but they don't really have the ability to stop this engage, as SNHU has pretty good siege, even without Baron buff. SNHU was able to pick up that tower, and it's very good, but it looks like they're going to try to push for more as they're sort of staying in the lane for right now. They are just able to completely burst down that wave without any of their minions taking damage, and the super minions coming in from mid side along with Proma's push bot lane is going to be difficult for them to really take any of this pressure. And a Mumu ult does come out. Suki is able to use ult though, being able to just get out of everything perfectly. Q coming out, but nothing to put it back on, and Zack's passive. However, they are going to be able to shut down CMOS, as Zack might be able to get back up, just barely able to survive that, and Suki might get bursted down by the Jinx, just barely able to get out. Proma does go in, but it looks like they're just going to be completely bursted down. Suki does look like they are kiting, but nothing really comes from that. Oh, just a out of nowhere kill from Pancake Man right there. Toxic is just going to be able to completely burst down McLord. That is so unfortunate for CSU's team. Right now, it looks like Baron is up, so SNHU is most likely going to get it unless CSU can pull out something. SNHU has all of their players up for right now, same with CSU before this Baron fight comes out, but their entire red side is littered with wards. It is so hard for them to push up and get any amount of control over the Baron pit for right now. It looks like they might be trying to go for this dragon, though, rather than going for Baron. Vision control is coming out, but CMOS might just be able to engage perfectly onto the support, and it looks like, oh, did the client crash? It looks like for some reason the game might have crashed. I'm unsure exactly what happened there. But yeah, it's the production. Do you know? Okay, we're back in. Game seemed to have crashed. A little bit of technical difficulties right there. So it looks like SNHU, it does have control completely over the Drake, but CSU looks to be pressuring around. Oh my god, Jinx picked up the dragon. That might just be the miracle they're looking for. Proma is the only one around Baron right now. Looks like CSU is going to be backing off, though. I'm unsure why they're doing this. They might suspect that SNHU is going to get there too quickly before they can burst it down. Now SNHU is just going to take the Baron. This is going to be so difficult. Even though they got that dragon, it might be all for naught. Yeah, this is going to be so hard. Yeah, they're just going to be able to pick it up with that insane amount of burst. Zack didn't even have the ability to go over. Proma might actually spot out Zack just barely here. And it looks like they're just going to let Zack go for right now, as they just probably think that Baron buff is enough for them to just win. Baron buff might mean the end for CSU. They are going to try to have to pick up any sort of lead. SNHU is a full 10 gold ahead now. It's going to be so scary. Looks like Jinx is going to be able to pick up red buff, but I don't really know if that's going to be able to help in this game, as most waves are pushing in. Bot wave is kind of a little bit too pushed up. A top wave in a couple seconds might be at the tower, so this is going to be a bit difficult. It looks like SNHU is expecting for some sort of flank from CSU, as they don't see all of the players. But it looks like all of the players just weren't there in time, so SNHU good thing that they're playing cautious, but it doesn't seem necessary at this moment. Right now, it looks like a flank might come out from the Zac. Might go directly onto Suki, but it did someone flash? It looks like a Mumu might have hex flashed. Or actual flashed. I'm unsure what happened there. I swear I just saw flash particles. But either way, it looks like SNHU just has the ability to completely burst down that inhib without any contest at all. And Vi is going to be able to go in directly onto the support, but CMOS looks like they're just going to die there. Victor Alt is coming through, being able to do a lot of damage, but Pancake Man is absolutely getting bursted down by the Jinx. Alt just barely whiffing, but Proma is going to have the ability to take down this entire tower as CSU didn't have the ability to deal with him, as CMOS just went in to distract them. Moonwall does come out along with the Oriana. Suki is going to have to use Zanya's. They are able to just completely kite though. Suki is picking up so much, but it looks like SNHU might have bit off more than they can chew. Yeah, it looks like Jinx is going to be able to get something, and this just might be the perfect fight that CSU needs to get back into this game. However, the problem is they have 2 inhibitors, and there are no 2 inhibitors down, and there are no objectives up. Along with top tower looks to be insanely low right now. They are going to be able to save it just barely, but this is going to be such a tough situation for CSU. SNHU got a bit too greedy there and stuck around a little bit too long. Looks like everything's just going to try to be stabilizing right now. There are no objectives up, and SNHU is just going to try to farm, as a lot of their players are still down right now. CSU is also going to be doing the same, just trying to get these super minion gold and catch up XP. They don't really have the ability to push for any objective bounties right now, so it's going to be extremely hard for them to do a lot here unless they win another fight. But, you know, what I was saying before, I thought CSU was completely out of this game, but League of Legends always has the ability for people to come back. It's one of the greatest parts about this game, and CSU still has a chance to get back in this game. SNHU is going to be completely crowding around the bot side river. It looks like they're going to be trying to force their way maybe into CSU's red side, just trying to get as much vision control as possible. Pancake Man is going to be able to spot out a couple of wards. And it looks like they're just going to allow SNHU to get that vision, as they don't really want to go for a fight right now. They're just trying to save up for their items before the next big fight happens. Oh no, they might be in a bit of trouble. I thought CMOS was going to try to ult there, but Proma wasn't close enough for that to actually amount to a kill, so it looks like they just did not want to go for that risk. But Dragon's up in 20 seconds. This is going to be extremely scary for all of CSU, as you have super minions, which might just be able to burst down your base. They have done a pretty good job at clearing it, but it's a constant threat in the back of your head, and SNHU just has so much control over the map right now, especially with their items. Looks like they might just go for a full forward-facing fight, and it looks like CMOS is going to be completely able to engage onto CSU's bot side, but the Mumualt is going to come out, actually maybe being able to kill CMOS. Suki is being able to fight in the back with Zac right there, and they are in a tough situation as they aren't really able to get over the wall. Alt coming out. Suki's in a bit of a sticky situation right here. Looks like they might be able to, SNHU might be able to engage a McLord, but looks like Toxic bit off more than he could chew. E coming out, and looks like Promo was engaged on. Looks like Suki's right now just trying to burst down the dragon the best they can with CMOS is down. Might be the best situation, but looks like Zac's going to get over the wall and be able to steal the objective right away from SNHU. Zac does end up dying though, so this might be the perfect opportunity SNHU needs to go back in. Yes, the super minions, just like I said, are in the bottom side, so it looks like SNHU is just going to TP and possibly end the game right here and now. They might just be able to burst down the Nexus. It looks like SNHU is fighting them in the red side, stalling out the best they can, and Oriana just doesn't have the ability to get this damage out onto both Proma and Toxic. That was very well played by SNHU, being able to distract them in the red side and TPing bot with the super minion advantage. Very well played by SNHU, and also very well played by CSU, being able to pick up that last kill, capitalizing on SNHU's overextension was absolutely perfect. That was an amazing game. You know, this season of League at least collegiately, has been so fun to watch. Both all of the games that we've seen from both SNHU teams have been absolutely amazing. And to my knowledge, we're going to have one more coming up, I believe. Is that correct, production? This is a best of 3. Okay, so maybe 2 more. Yeah, but that's going to do it for right now. We're going to have to take a break before next game starts, so we'll see you then. Thrown out, might be able to kill Mumu, but Zach is right there, and it looks like they are going to die, and Renata W actually... Renata's just one of those characters. It looks like they are going to be able to pick up Zach as well. That was just Mumu coming out is just going to be able to burst down Suki. This is so unfortunate. They're going to try to get the kills, but they are able to pick it up with a flash. Like they are going to be going for the dive, and Simons is able to hit the Q, and it looks like Olaf is just going to be bursted, but the tower shot's coming out on the... Being able to E Mumu, Mumu ends up dying there. It looks like Zach is going to be taking tower shots, and they end up... asset for SNHU to have right now. Looks like they're going to be going for a dive of themselves, and it looks like Pancake Man's going to just tank the tower shots the best that they can. And they are going to be able to kill the Zach just barely, but the Q coming out, that was very scary. Oh, they are going to be able to get a double. That was very scary. Oh, they are going to be able to get a double rune. Simons is just going to be able to go in there. Jinx does die, which is really good. You want mid-prow as much as possible. Try to not take anything. But it looks like they are just going to be able to ult on top of their mid laner. TP coming out. It looks like Olaf is going to be coming down, and the Jinx ult is going to come. Looks like Zach is able to steal out that objective. But in this, Zaya being able to flash. Oh, and the Renata is getting burst down by the Olaf. I'm not sure who picked up Baron just yet. Looks like SNHU was able to pick it up and burst everyone. Zach is completely dead, and it looks like the bot lane is actually going to get saved with the Orianna. Be pressuring around. Oh my god, Jinx picked up the dragon. That might just be the miracle they're looking for. Proma's both Proma and Toxic. That was very well played by SNHU, being able to distract them in the red side and TPing bot with the super minion thrown out. Might be able to... Welcome back, everyone. It looks like we're going to be getting into game 2 of this set, and it looks like we're going to be heading into draft right now. It looks like SNHU, oh, actually CSU picks up Xayah. That's very interesting, trying to deny it from SNHU. Hovering, picking Caitlyn Lux. I honestly think Caitlyn's really good right now. I'm not exactly sure why. I think just Caitlyn's kind of always good if you have the right hands to pilot that character, but SNHU kind of knows what CSU wants to do now, picking up that Xayah. Oh, Vi coming out. Are they just drafting the same thing that SNHU did last time? Because if they're drafting, this might be a very interesting game. CSU might be trying to just say to SNHU that they can do better. Oh no, but Nautilus is coming out. So they're not drafting the exact team comp, but a couple of the SNHU players over there were questioning it a little bit. But Vi was stolen out. I wonder what CMOTS is going to play, because we've really only seen them play Vi for a while now. Especially with Caitlyn Lux, I'm unsure. I think Zach might be a good pick. I think that maybe Sejuani might be a good pick. Can't pick up Udi or Maokai. Yeah, Sejuani. Yeah, I think that might be a bit difficult though. I think Sejuani is good. I think maybe picking up a Mumu might be a little bit better, because a Mumu is just able to be flexed as well. Well, Lux was picked up, so that's not really an option for SNHU right now. I wonder what CSU is going to pick right now, but it looks like SNHU does ban out Olaf. They just want to say no. They just don't want to deal with it again. Especially with CSU's team comp, Olaf would be a nightmare, especially paired with a Vi and Nautilus. Yeah, I would not want to deal with that as well. Victor getting banned out. I think if any other collegiate teams watch SNHU or like VOD review, I think they should pick up that you can't really ban out Toxic. Toxic just has so many characters. Like they stomped on Xerath last year. Like they just pulled it out randomly, never seen them play it before. Like they were just playing control mages the entire time, pulled out Xerath and just absolutely stomped. So I don't really think it's the best idea to necessarily ban out Toxic. I feel like you should just focus most bans on Chroma right now, as they were the ADC last year, so it might be a bit difficult for SNHU to really get used to the role swap. What is SNHU going to pick up, though, to try to counter this team comp? If they're going to try to draft a mid laner, most likely, I think that there are a lot of options for this. I feel like Caitlyn and Lux are just very good poke that you can kind of do whatever you want. Yeah, I think Syndra is definitely a great pick. Yeah. Picking up Syndra is really good. The hard part, though, is being able to burst down anyone on CSU's team, because CSU's team is really tanky right now, especially with Vi and Nautilus. So it might be a bit difficult as the game goes on. Wukong is banned out by CSU. I was actually going to suggest maybe picking up a Wukong would be a good idea for SNHU, but I wonder what they're going to play mid lane. If I was them, I might go for Orianna again. It looks like they were pretty confident on that Orianna pick, as really this is just kind of... Oh, Mordekaiser. Okay. All right. I'm not too confident in the Ivern. Is this going to happen? I hope. I actually hope. That'd be crazy. Getting Caitlyn headshot out of bushes would be pretty good, but you really have to know how to operate Ivern properly, especially in these comps. Yeah, Fiora coming out. I am a bit scared though. SNHU's team isn't necessarily the tankiest. They are pretty squishy. Fiora does beat Mordekaiser, so that's really good. Honestly, I'm a bit confused by the Mordekaiser pick, because Caitlyn just has so much range that they're not really going to be able to ult the backline to try to take one of those important players out of SNHU's team. I feel like their best option, though, might actually be taking out Sejuani, as Sejuani's really just going to be frontlining, so it'll allow Vi and Nautilus and Xayah, along with maybe Orianna ult, to be able to catch out SNHU's backline, which is a lot squishier. However, I think SNHU also has better split push. I think they have better split push and just better overall objective control. Not necessarily the best front-to-back team fight, but I think they have a lot of other categories checked off in this game right now. So this looks like a pretty good draft for SNHU. Looks like we might be heading to break, though, because we're going to be getting into game pretty soon. So we'll see you then. Okay. Shane, should I post this tweet? I can tell your parents are still together, open parentheses, derogatory, close parentheses. What BRB thing? Oh, the match score? I like that a lot, actually. That's really helpful. Yeah, I think that's definitely... Yeah, that's really good. I'm still in caster speak. I can't get out of it. I'm in the caster accent. You become a different person. Did you just add that right now? Just off the dome? Did you just add that right now off the dome? Good idea. Ugh. I need to cook myself some food once I get back. I'm a hungry guy. So many announcements. Ugh. Is there... How many people are watching? 7 people? One of them is me. No, nice. It's siphoning them. Yeah. 8 viewers now. Okay, one of them isn't me. 8 viewers as well. That's... Isn't it above 10 viewers is actually above 50% of Twitch or something? Crazy like that? Isn't it having above 10 viewers or something is above 50% of Twitch? That's crazy. The most I peaked when I used to stream was 3. It's crazy, just the difference between YouTube, where you can post the shittiest video ever and get 200 views, and then on Twitch you get one guy in your stream and you're the happiest person because you actually have someone to talk to. I really should have streamed back in early high school. I did nothing. I had no friends. That would have been perfect. We are ready. I am ready. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. It looks like we're going to be getting into game pretty soon. I'm really excited for the draft that SNHU did. I'm excited for both of these teams, really seeing what CSU does with a couple of the characters from SNHU's team. It looks like we're going to be getting into game right now. I'm very excited to see what happens, because having just like the Chad move of being able to pick up what makes SNHU's team good and putting it on your own is great. But the one thing I'm scared about, it looks like Sejuani might have just glitched through Nexus there, a little bit of a visual bug. But what I was saying was, CSU's team isn't necessarily oriented the best. They kind of all want different things. Zai is very much an anti-engage ADC. And they have a full engage comp. So it's kind of unordered. And one thing that I think that made Xayah so good for SNHU's team is the Renata, because of the ability to W, and then Xayah pulls all of the feathers back that she built up and then reviving herself. So I don't know if this is necessarily the good pickup from CSU. I think Vi is good. I think that it might be good, but in general, their team comp is ordered a little bit worse than I'd say SNHU's is. SNHU's isn't necessarily looking to fight. It's more just looking to survive and just really bleed you over and over and over again with taking towers, splitting map better than you, and just taking as much farm as possible. But CSU is going to be in a tough situation, especially in my opinion with the Xayah. I would have rather see a different ADC, but they did pick it first, so they didn't really know exactly what their draft was going to look like. Looks like right now we're going to be having a pretty slow game, though. SNHU is going to really want to try to take this as slow as possible, except for Fiora. Fiora's really going to be the only one that's going to be trying to do a lot in this game. Looks like both junglers are starting topside, so they might try to go for bot lane pressure as much as possible. But Pancake Man, knowing that they were there before in that bush, called them out again and perfectly dodged that Nautilus hook. -1 for Proma. I'm sorry, I just had to point it out. But it looks like right now, game's going to be going pretty slow, but Toxic actually has burst down a little bit more than I expected. Looks like maybe Orianna bullies a little bit early, but SNHU just has the ability to absolutely bully this bot lane. It's going to be so hard. Like, you hook Lux here, you just get out damaged. Even if Lux misses the Q, Nautilus is going in, but looks like Toxic might get bursted down. Might be able to throw something out here. This scary situation. If there was an Ignite on the Orianna there, Toxic probably would have died. Looks like in bot lane, though, they were able to, yeah, probably as I expected. Nautilus queued, but nothing really happened because of it. Syndra is so low. Toxic is in such a scary situation right now. Luckily, Vi isn't in the vicinity to be able to get this kill. But the scary part is that Toxic doesn't have the ability to get this cannon. The wave's probably going to get pushed under and just... Oh no, just barely isn't able to get tower shots off, so that's going to be a bit unfortunate for CSU. Toxic's still going to lose a bit of minions there, and that's going to be a bit of a scary situation, especially for them right now. It looks like CMONS is in mid lane, though. Going to bot side. Both junglers are in the bot side right now, so we might see some things coming out. But I expect top lane for right now to really just be Fiora Kingdom. Just be Fiora Festival. Pancake Man is just sort of waiting in the bush, able to throw out the hook right there, and Kaylin is able to trap and use Q to be able to probably get this kill. Barely doesn't, though. One more auto and it would have been it. It looks like Weird is going to be in the bot side, might be able to get some sort of pressure back, but CMONS is right there in return, so if they do try to go for anything, this is going to be difficult. They are recalling on a bush, so this is a bit dangerous for SNHU, especially if CMONS does a recall. Looks like they might try to go for a dive, but Vi is right there. They might just completely burst down. Oh, take it. Suki, Pancake Man was taking tower shots. Suki might die here. CMONS is so low. All of SNHU is so low, just barely able to get out. Are they able to? If Orianna roams down, they are just going to be able to catch out CMONS, but it looks like they are just barely going to be able to do that. Q going perfectly over the wall. Orianna might be able to throw something out, but the Lux W is able to come through, and none of SNHU's team dies. No one. That was so well played. Like, that was just perfect. Orianna didn't roam down in the right time, which was a bit of a fault on CSU, but that was just so well played, especially because they were able to get off a successful tower dive. That is so useful, especially being able to get a kill on Sejuani, able to make her more tanky as the game goes on. Dragon is up, though, pretty soon, but looks like top lane's actually not going to be traded in Fiora's favor. That's weird. That shouldn't happen. Fiora's, like, the best character in the game, no? No, I'm just joking. Obviously. But it looks like the top lane situation is going to be a bit of a difficult one. Looks like Vi is going to also be coming up top lane, so this is going to make it even harder. Right now, Vi is just going to be trying to scan the bushes, really just trying to recall, really just being there to cover to see if CMOTS is there as well. But it looks like CMOTS might just want to go for the dragon here. If Pancake Man is able to land a Q, this just means pure death for CSU's bot lane. Nautilus is going to get Longbush warded out, though. Or no, not warded out. Looks like they didn't place anything right there. Maybe something more in the center of the river. But it looks like... Oh, CMOTS is invading right now. I wonder what they're trying to do. Oh, are they trying to go around wards? Right now, they're playing for some sort of, like, super cheeky gank right now. Being completely not spotted, looks like CMOTS will be able to just go in, but is able to get blocked by the Nautilus. LuxQ will come out, though. Looks like they aren't able to follow up. CMOTS takes a couple tower shots there, which isn't necessarily the best, but his beard is weird is right there in return. Looks like no dragon is going to be able to get stolen right now, but it looks like Caitlyn might be able to just do... Might just be able to kill someone. Yeah, that is so unfortunate. Caitlyn doesn't have the ability to get out, so they are able to get burst down by Vi, but it doesn't look like CMOTS will have the ability to get another kill back here. They kind of just have to sit and let his beard is weird really burst down this wave. It's going to be difficult, though, especially with the XP not really going to anyone, especially not going to Suki. Syndra is coming down. Looks like they might try to get a kill right now, as it looks like CSU is pretty overextended. Syndra is able to get caught out, and he does come out, but CMOTS is really low. Looks like they won't be able to get anything, but Vi actually fail Qs over the wall. They might just be able to get a kill here. One more auto and they're dead. Yeah, they're just dead right there. Looks like CMOTS is going to be able to burst down Orianna perfectly, just barely. SNHU is just picking up so many good fights right now. They're just doing an absolute insane job at any play that CSU goes for. They're able to counter perfectly. CSU is really just going to try to, like, get into late game. Like, they really just need to get into mid to late game where they can just front-to-back team fight and just hope that SNHU isn't as good split pushing as they are maybe supposed to be. Looks like Nautilus might just be able to kill Toxic, though. Yeah, that's a good kill, definitely, but it doesn't necessarily do anything specifically. It gets the wave out of Toxic's hand. It denies him a couple levels in gold, but it isn't necessarily as good as Orianna picking it up. But it looks like CSU might be actually poised to take Dragon right now. He is coming out on Nautilus, but Nautilus is able to W it, so it doesn't really take that much damage in return. But it looks like a fight's going to be happening in top river right now. CMOTS is taking a fight. It looks like the top laner... Oh, Proma does go onto Orianna. Can Orianna really get away from this? I don't really think so. Orianna might just die, yeah. She's completely dead. Mordekaiser isn't able to go into this 2v3, but is going to be able to get stunned. It looks like, actually, Suki is going to just be able to get a kill ball lane in return. SNHU has pressure everywhere on the map, especially on this Mordekaiser. Looks like Suki's really low bot side right now. Might die. They are. Oh my god. CSU might be able to turn it on to CMOTS. Just barely. Actually isn't able to. It's so difficult when fights are happening on two sides of the map at the same time. It's extremely hard to really figure out what's going on. But yeah, Suki was extremely low right there. Was just barely able to get out, probably because of LuxQ. But then in top side, what happened? Oh, it looks like maybe there might be more fighting going on as they're trying to get out these wards, but just don't have the ability to due to Toxic just pressuring his beard is weird. Oh my god, Caitlyn ult does come out. Nautilus is barely able to block that Q. Almost was meant the death for Suki right there. Looks like they're going to try to trade for Herald, though. I think Dragon's definitely more of an important objective. Yeah, Dragon's definitely going to be the most important objective here for SNHU's team currently. It's going to be definitely a difficult situation right now for CSU. They don't have necessarily the early game that they were poised to have. SNHU is doing such a good job at just bullying them. It's going to be a difficult situation for CSU. They're just going to have to hope that their mid-game team fighting can do it. I just don't know if their characters are picked properly for that, especially with Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser really doesn't have the ability to do a lot here. They can take Fiora out of an ult, but then they're just going to die in return. They can try to take Toxic, but really what does that do? And then you take Seamons is out. That's probably the best option, but that's still not really the best. Because if they even if they take Seamons out, you don't really have the damage to follow up. Like, you can take Seamons out, but like they don't really have the players to be able to do what they need to do in this game. Looks like there might be some type of situation coming down in bot lane right now. They do know that a ward is in Tribush. Oh no, Suki might just get engaged on ult coming through. W being able to lock most of that damage, but Nautilus Hook is just going to be in the death for Suki right there. Not probably knowing that his beard is weird was that close. Very good job at picking that up from CSU. Right now, it looks like Seamons is just in the best situation at the moment. And it looks like Chroma just has Lane Kingdom. Like, if this game goes on and they both are perfectly evenly scaled, Fiora is just going to win. So you really just have to hope that Mordekaiser can do something in this matchup, but there's really no ability to. It looks like Toxic was able to stun that out and take a very good trade. It looks like Chroma does use ult, though. This might just mean death. Yeah, this just means death. It's going to be so hard to do anything, but oh, there's a fight coming down in bot lane right now. It looks like, oh my god, Suki was just barely not able to get that kill. Oh my god, Chroma is so low right now. It might mean the death. That was a trade for CSU. That was so well played by Mordekaiser. I thought that just meant death, but it actually didn't. That's a bit confusing that happened right there, but it must have been very well played by Mordekaiser. But if you look at the bot lane right now, Suki is just so fed off these bladings. It's going to be very difficult for CSU to do a lot because Xayah doesn't necessarily fit with their team comp very well. It's going to be really hard. And Toxic is just trading out so well. Was not able to kill Orianna. Barely. Looks like right now both junglers are around bot river. It looks like his beard is weird is going to be able to pick up Scuttle Crab right now. Probably hopes that it's going to be up for next objective or just be able to spot out any gank from Seamons in the bot side. It won't be up for next objective. Said that a bit too soon. Wonder if Chroma's going to try to fight again. Because it didn't look like it went very well for him last time. So I wonder what the game plan is for Fiora, especially dying right there. CS is evened up, so it's going to be a bit difficult. And it looks like maybe Mordekaiser has more plates down. No, they have even plates. Yeah, it looks like Mordekaiser is just trading pretty well right now. It's going to be a difficult situation for Chroma in the future, but it looks like there's going to be stacked players in mid lane right now. Looks like Seamons might just be able to get this with all... Yeah, perfectly able to hit, and you saw Pancake Man covering that flash with that Q. But it looks like they might be able to re-engage with that Xayah. Suki is very low, but it looks like a Caitlyn ult will come out perfectly onto their bot lane, onto that Xayah, and it looks like Suki is going to be able to pick up 2 kills along with an assist. Very, very well played, but it looks like Chroma actually ended up dying to Mordekaiser. What happened? I might have gotten this matchup wrong. Maybe Mordekaiser is good into Fiora. I'm not 100% sure. Suki is just getting so fed off of these platings, though. Especially with that Rift Herald coming out is so good for SNHU's team. Well, Mordekaiser might actually be the one with the Lane Kingdom. I might have gotten this completely mixed up. I don't play a lot of Fiora, really see them very often. I'm a silver player, so silver, yeah. So you don't really see these like high skill ceiling characters, and if you do, they're not really played well at all. So I'm not exactly versed on the Fiora matchup currently, and a lot of these matchups in general, I'm not very well versed on at this level of play. But it looks like Looks like SNHU is doing a really good job right now at taking this game over. They have a more of a gold lead than they did last game for half of it. So even with less kills, yeah, they're just completely out farming and just denying the gold to CSU. That's one thing, really. What's the most beneficial about kills isn't necessarily that you get the gold from it. The gold is kind of negligible, honestly. If you think about it, it's not that many waves. What's really good is actually denying waves from other people. Like, getting a kill perfectly executed onto that Nautilus right there. Dragon is going to be up, though. They are going to be able to pick up a Hextech Drake. That's absolutely terrifying with Caitlyn. It's also good to keep it away from Xayah as well. Xayah just has more attack speed, but that's honestly really scary on Caitlyn. Yeah, they are able to pick up the Hextech Drake, and they're mounting them with basically full objective control except for that one Rift Herald. Actually, no, they had Rift Herald, didn't they? I'm unsure. I don't exactly remember. But it looks like Pancake Man might have some sort of thing. Oh my god, Suki with that headshot. But Mordekaiser is coming down. They might be able to actually catch out Suki and Pancake Man right here. Nautilus Hook is going to come out just perfectly onto Suki right now. They weren't able to trade out, and Pancake Man got ulted on by Vi. It looks like Simons is going to be there. Being able to stun Vi under tower, but I don't know if this amounts to a kill. It definitely does not. That's so unfortunate for SNHU's team. That might be the break that CSU needed. Looks like Promo's just going to be able to burst down the tower right now. Trying to do the best they can. Right now, it looks like everyone's just setting up, trying to get in position for the next fight. It looks like they might be going in on Promo right here. Promo is in a very tough situation, but isn't eat by Mordekaiser, so they aren't able to follow any of that up. Looks like right now, they're just going to be trying to push out sidelines, get as much farm as possible. No objectives are up, so you don't really have to fight for anything. One thing that I'm a bit concerned about is all the kills on C-Monsters. Sejuani's a good character. It's good to have a couple kills, but having that many is kind of a bit hard, especially when 3 of those assists were on Fiora, and if Fiora had those kills, those fights might have gone a different direction. We can't really do anything about it, though. That's also the problem. It's not like you can really just say, yeah, I'm gonna give someone else a kill right now. You can't really do that, so it's just an unfortunate situation for SNHU. The most important thing is having the gold on the right people and also denying enemy gold, because waves are so much more important. I think it's like 5 waves are enough of a kill. Oh, it looks like C-Monsters is just going to flash right there, but the Luxu isn't able to come out, so honestly, I think Mordekaiser is just going to be able to get out of this situation. Maybe even perfectly burst down C-Monsters. He's doing a lot of damage right now. Oh, but the Fiora ult and the Lux ult just going to come out, but it looks like it looks like Suki might get... Yeah, just perfectly collapsed on by CSU. It's going to be a tough situation, though, as Nautilus is really low, so they're just going to be able to burst on him. CSU TP is going to be able to come out, and Bearded is going to take a lot, but I don't know if those Xayah Feathers are going to be placed in the right spot, but the flash, just Suki's combo coming out, and Toxic was able to use the ult perfectly on that. His Beard is weird, might be able to get burst down by Fiora, but it depends on if they get to the tower quick enough. The Q is going to come out and deny Fiora of that kill, but SNHU played that extremely well. Even if Suki did get caught out there, they are able to pick up this Rift Herald that is a vital objective for SNHU to take. Right now in the game, it looks like what SNHU is trying their best to do is just mount the pressure as much as possible. As I said, they don't necessarily have the best in a full team fight, like full front to back. Most people misunderstand front to back. Front to back isn't like that where you have people trickling in that last fight. Front to back is literally just all 5 people collapse on each other at once. And SNHU doesn't necessarily have that. Oh, it looks like Promo might actually get burst on right now. But the Caitlyn ult is going to come out. Maybe his Beard is weird, just going to die right there and then. That allows SNHU to have a way more control over mid lane than they did before, but the Nautilus Hook is going to be a bit of a danger for Suki. Don't really want to push up as far as they did last time. But as mentioning before, the wave is just so much more important. Like, being able to get a wave, like, I think, like, 5 waves is equal to a kill. So being able to kill someone, denying them over and over and over again, vital XP and vital gold, is way better than actually getting the gold on yourself in most cases. Most cases, not all cases. Looks like they're just going to be setting up for Dragon right now. Dragon's up in a minute and Baron's up in 45 seconds. So it looks like SNHU is going to be really trying to take that dragon, but it might be a good idea if CSU actually trades objectives here. They are just going to be able to get full vision control of CSU's red side, and they don't really have the ability to stop any of that. Yeah, they are perfectly able to get down all of those wards. It looks like right now it's going to be a difficult situation for CSU, as they're not really going to be able to engage in this fight the best they can. If I was them, I'd try to recommend just going all in on topside Baron, letting SNHU get that dragon. Even though it is soul point, you don't have the ability to fight this. Unless some miracle comes out where you're able to flank, but Suki's died in these last fights, and it still hasn't been enough to actually stop all of SNHU's team. One thing good about Caitlyn Lux combo is that even if Caitlyn gets way behind, you still have Lux to be able to make up for it. One hard part about SNHU's team comp, though, is that Syndra isn't solo AP carry, so they might be able to build magic resist, or might see that it is a good idea to build magic resistance here, so it might make Syndra's burst a bit less effective. But Toxic's been doing a great job at picking up those kills when they need to, so it's been absolutely great. Yeah, but they don't really have the ability to do this, even if all of CSU's team comes down. Oh no, looks like SNHU's team isn't there, barely able to not catch out that Nautilus. But they are going to be able to perfectly engage on Suki. Just, it has been out of position just a lot, and they didn't have the E-up, and that Orianna ult is going to come out perfectly. It looks like SNHU is in a sticky situation right here. C-Monsters might not be able to get out, as IQ just barely comes out right in time. It looks like they are going to get stunned. This is going to be, yeah, just an impossible situation for SNHU to win right there. A couple missed skill shots and it's all over. That's one of the scary parts about League, is that you have to play perfectly for so long. Most of these games are 30-40 minutes, so it's going to be definitely really scary for SNHU and just CSU in general. Is if any of them makes a single mistake, it means it's basically the end of the game. CSU was able to sort of get back the gold lead, but even still, like, okay, last game, right, they were behind like 2,000 gold the entire game. They're behind like 5,000 right now. I don't understand. Even though SNHU seems like they're not doing as good as they did last game, they have more gold. They just have more. I don't know if it's because they haven't hit their power spikes on items yet. I don't exactly know why, but SNHU does have the ability to really just pressure with a 5,000 gold lead. I would expect SNHU to be doing a bit more damage, but it might be something with champions or some type of items. Yeah, it's been very difficult, especially because they've been able to pick Suki so well in these fights. They're just going to burst down Baron. Wow. Are they going to try to take this full team fight? Oh, they do use Rift Herald mid, so if they back off of this might be their plan, is try to split pressure, just have all 5 of them there. It looks like the only 3 of them are there, though, so yeah, they're just going to be able to completely burst down. Caitlyn traps are coming out perfectly, and the Lux ult is just going to be able to take someone completely out of the fight. Yeah, they're just going to be able to pick up Baron Nashor without just any contest, like, at all. And Xayah had to stay there to stop Rift Herald from crashing, as that would have been equally as bad. So it was just a tough situation for CSU. SNHU saved all of their resources really well to be able to make that play happen. Right now, it looks like SNHU is just going to try to be doing their best to get down these towers as best as they can. And Fiora is going to be split pushing on bot side to try to get something, but it looks like Nautilus might try to Hex Flash over back and try to get Suki, but they Hex Flashed away. It looks like they weren't really confident in that engage right there. Very unfortunate for CSU to not be able to get that some type of trade going on. As Proma's down, pressuring as much as possible. It looks like they're stacking Raptor Bush. Lux is going to be able to spot them out, though. That was very good game sense by Pancake Man. Right now, it looks like they're just going to be trying their best, but Nautilus might be able to Hex Flash over the wall. Yeah, he just goes in, but it looks like there's going to be a fight happening bot lane right now, as Proma might just be able to completely pick up a kill onto Mordekaiser, just barely being able to get pushed away, and it looks like Suki is going to be able to pick up a kill, but that Xayah, he stunned so many people. That was so unfortunate. It looks like Toxic is going to be able to pick up a kill onto the mid laner right there. Very well played, and it looks like also Mordekaiser died to Proma as well. Honestly, this is such a scary situation for CSU. They have players down for so long that SNHU might be able to get 2 inhibs here this early. Do they? do they try to end? I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this is a good idea. Ult comes out. Yeah, I think they overextended. This is so scary, especially with Xayah. They do get a Nexus Tower, though. That is very good. Toxic did die, but a flash coming out from behind, and that hook just is going to mean death probably for one of them. Yeah, it might be for all. This is really scary. Yeah, almost all of them died. The only one able to get out was C-Monster, who used Q over the wall to be able to get out of there. That was a bit of an overextension by SNHU. I would have rather seen them start to push down mid-turret and be able to get another Nexus there, but looks like they just thought that it could end there if they played it right. But Toxic just got I think he got hooked into Fountain. So I'm not exactly sure how Toxic died, but Toxic dying sort of stopped that engage from happening. Objective bounty able to come out from CSU. They're still in the game right now. It's going to be a bit more difficult. Oh my god, SNHU is 8,000 gold up. They were only 2,000 gold up for 90% of the game last time. It's honestly really crazy, especially with how fed Suki was last game, last time, and how many times he's been dying in these team fights, and his team still wins. They are just gonna try to just it kind of looked like they were just full team fighting the Raptors right there. Yeah, I saw a Nautilus hook come out. I'm like, who's he hooking? What's going on? Nothing happened, though, but Dragon's going to be up in 35 seconds. This is going to be really important for SNHU to pick up. And CSU is going to have to try to deny it, because if SNHU is any to anger, especially with Fiora, she's going to be able to win that Mordekaiser 1v1 just consistently, and there's no one that's going to be able to outsideline her. They might just try to death stack red buff Bush. Looks like SNHU is going to be doing a bit of a cheeky play here, maybe using Pancake Man as a bit of bait. They do know that there are people in that bush, so it looks like maybe Toxic. Yeah, Toxic's going to go for an E-poke. Not able to get a Lux Q off, just barely isn't. Or E. I forget which one it is. My brain always dies whether it's Lux Q or E. Usually stun abilities are Q and projectiles are Qs, but with Lux it's weird. Looks like they will be able to shoot a Orianna ball onto Pancake Man, getting a little bit of damage, but SNHU just has too much burst, and they are just able to get this dragon. It looks like his beard is weird. It was able to engage there, but took so much damage. Oh, they are able to get a very massive Nautilus ult, and that Orianna ult is going to be able to basically completely shut down all of SNHU. Suki is able to go over the wall and might be able to completely kill. Oh my god, they're doing so much damage right now. Suki died so much in these early team fights that they just have the ability to pick up so much right now. They are going to be able to get Nautilus, but they aren't going to be able to get out McLord. Proma just has the ability to... Proma might get burst down. Proma does. That's so unfortunate. C-Monsters is just trying to get the red side as much as possible, just trying to pressure the advantage as much as they can. Honestly, really well played by SNHU. I didn't think Suki did that much damage. That's a lot of damage coming out from Caitlyn. I thought because they their KD's a bit more even than they were last game, and Xayah wasn't necessarily doing all that amount of damage. I don't know if that was some pairing with Sejuani or something, but the amount of damage that they were able to burst out on that Orianna was absolutely insane. After everyone died, it was literally only, I think, C-Monsters and Suki up. That headshot just, nuked Orianna. Looks like Baron's going to be up in 17 seconds. It's going to be really hard, especially with the amount of vision control SNHU has. It's going to be really hard for CSU to take this. They don't have mid-prio necessarily. Midwave is pushing in, so that is one downside for SNHU. Do they just burst it down once it's up? No, C-Monsters is actually going to go in on engage right now. Onto his beard is weird. It looks like they will be able to get out a good Lux ult, and the front attack team fight is going well, but Nautilus is going to be able to do a lot there. Toxic might just get bursted, or Suki might just get bursted down. Looks like C-Monsters was rooted by the Xayah. Might be a bad fight for SNHU. It is a 3v3, though. This might not be the worst thing in the world. Or actually 3v4. Suki died. They don't really have the ability to go for an engage here. They can't really burst down or kite anyone with the champs that they have on the board right now. Don't just go for it. Are they just going to go? go for it? No, they don't. That if they went for that, that would have been an awful play. But it looks like Proma's just going to try to get top wave, try to really stop them from getting an objective bounty to go to their team. Very well played. But right now the game's sort of evening up, and that's the scary part. SNHU though is really ahead on gold. Like I think that's mostly platings, and also like actually no, their CS is pretty similar. I wonder where that gold's coming from. They have 5,000 gold lead. Probably objectives. Yeah, most likely it's probably objectives and maybe shutdown. No, they didn't get shutdowns. But actually, that's crazy. CSU was behind and is still behind a lot of gold, and they have shutdowns. So one of the funniest parts is like CSU has objective bounties, but SNHU has shutdowns on CSU. It's a very convoluted system. Looks like they're just going to be trying to go for Baron again. CSU is pinging it, so I wonder what's going on. They might not see SNHU on the map, but it looks like SNHU is just going to push them out of river. Yeah, they're just going to perfectly push them out of river here. There's no way for them to engage on that fight, especially when you have Suki right there. You saw how much damage he did last time, but this is a 3v5. This is a scary situation. They're going to engage on Baron? Pancake Man is bot side. This is a 4v5, but Toxic's just... Oh my god, that damage! That's absolutely insane. Being able to burst out one of their players this early is so vital in this game. But it looks like, yeah, Toxic's just doing so much damage. They are being able to almost just get Mordekaiser with that Syndra ult down to half health and just die. And Suki was able to auto over that wall with the Caitlyn's increased auto attack range. Be able to stun here, and it looks like Proma is just TPing bot side. No. It looks like who's TPing? Syndra, Toxic's TPing. They might just be able to end. Yeah, Proma and Toxic are just going to be able to end the game right here. That's just such a good pickup. CSU doesn't have the ability to do anything right now. Yeah, no matter if Toxic dies here, they just end. That was honestly a lot faster than I thought the game was going to be. Very well played by SNHU, knowing that they had the ability to end right there rather than going for like Baron, which is an amazing play right there. And that just shows how far these players have grown since last season. Picking up Suki was an incredible grab for SNHU, but CSU also did an insanely good job at being able to come back from those situations. They were down the entire game, but they made the plays when it counted, try to get those advantages to keep them in the game for as long as possible. That last fight was a bit unfortunate, especially because SNHU was able to get down that one Nexus tower. If they had that Nexus tower, SNHU wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. But yeah, very well played by both teams. That was an amazing series, and I think that's all. Is that correct, production? Yeah, that's it for tonight. Looks like that's going to be all, folks. I hope you enjoyed League of Legends as much as I did. Yeah, this season's been starting off as absolute bangers. So yeah, we'll see you soon. I'd like to plug a couple things. We have Overwatch tomorrow if you want to go watch our Overwatch team. And then we also have GSG, which is a local Smash tournament that we hold on campus on SNHU on the 18th of this month. And you can sign up right now, already register. So yeah, if you want to come down for any of those events, please feel free to come down and have a good one. See you around. They are just going to be able to catch out sea monsters, but it looks like they are just barely going to be able to do that. Q going perfectly over the wall. Orianna might be able to throw something out, but the Lux W is able to come through, and none of SNH. One more auto and they're dead. Yeah, they're just dead right there. Looks like Seamonsters is going to be able to burst down Orianna perfectly. Oh my god, the CSU might be able to turn it on to Seamonsters, just barely. Actually isn't able to. It's so like a Caitlyn ult will come out perfectly onto their bot lane, onto that Zion. It looks like Suki is going to be able to completely pick up a kill onto Mordekaiser, just barely being able to get pushed away. And it looks like Suki is going to be able to pick up a kill, but that Zion almost they just get Mordekaiser with that Syndra ult down to half health and just die. And Suki was able to auto over that wall. He doesn't have the ability to do anything right now. Yeah, no matter if Toxic dies here, they just end. On a